Stone holds its place long after people leave. It absorbs rain, wind, and time without changing its purpose. Moss grows in the cracks where hands once pressed, where bodies leaned, where waiting became routine. Above it, the sky remains heavy and gray, unmoved by what happens below. A tower rises from the ground, medieval and defensive, built to be seen and built to be feared. Its height reduces everything beneath it. People become smaller, voices become quieter, movement becomes cautious. Inside, an iron-bound door waits in a narrow corridor, thick wood reinforced with rusted bands. Its surface carries marks left by force, repetition, and use. A lock hangs at its center, corroded but unbroken, designed for a single purpose, to keep something where it is. Nearby, a candle burns. The flame trembles in the air, casting moving shadows across the stone. The shadows shift, the wall does not. Beyond the tower, the land opens into a field once shaped by conflict. Mud hardens in uneven patterns. Broken arrow shafts remain where they fell. Nothing moves now, but everything left behind suggests motion that once filled the space. A steel gauntlet lies in wet grass. Its owner is gone. The metal remains. Mist drifts low across the ground, softening the edges of the field without hiding its meaning. A narrow road curves into a dark forest. Its path is unclear, its end unseen. Deep tracks cut into the soil, left by wheels, by hooves, by weight that once passed through with purpose. Clouds gather above the land, light fades, the air thickens, silence grows heavier. From cracked earth, a single wildflower rises, small, fragile, unnoticed. It does not change the ground around it, it only exists within it. A narrow slit window cuts through the stone wall. A thin line of sky appears through it. Light enters, freedom does not. Inside, a cell waits, bare stone, cold air, the floor worn smooth by footsteps and time, by standing, by sitting, by waiting. France stands divided, by crowns, by borders, by belief. Power shifts across bloodlines and banners. Loyalty is tested. Allegiances are measured and traded. In this space, a name begins to travel, first spoken quietly, then carried further. A figure becomes an idea becomes a symbol. A shadow appears on the wall. No face, no form, only the suggestion of presence, influence without a body. Shattered glass lies scattered across the stone floor. Fragments reflect broken pieces of the room, never forming a complete image. A rose grows among thorns, its color sharp, its beauty precise, its danger obvious. A small town rests in the distance. A narrow path leads away from it, disappearing into open land. Not every journey is chosen. On a hill above the road, dark figures stand in silence. They watch, they wait. Those below never see them. A silver coin lies in the dirt, tarnished by handling, passed from one hand to another, value assigned, decisions shaped. A sealed scroll rests on a wooden table, wax hardened, the path ahead already narrowed. A black feather hangs in a spider's web, caught and unmoving. Stone walls rise again, cold, unwelcoming, built to endure longer than those who enter. Hands touch the surface, the stone does not respond. This place was not built for comfort, it was built for control. Above the battlements, a raven stands still, watching the land below. In the courtyard, sound collapses into echo. Every step returns, every word lingers. A well opens into darkness, its depth hidden, its purpose long decided. A staircase coils upward through the tower, each step narrower than the last, each turn more confined than the one before. This structure was not made to guide, it was made to contain. Beyond the walls, the land continues to move. Fields change, rivers shift, villages rise and fall. The tower remains. The name continues. Silence follows. The tower does not announce itself. It simply remains where it was placed, rising from the ground without decoration or apology. Stone is stacked upon stone, each block pressed into position by hands that never signed their work. Rain leaves thin lines across its surface. Wind sharpens its edges. Moss settles into cracks that grow wider each year. At the highest point, a raven perches. Its body is still. Its head turns once, then stops. It watches without memory and without judgment. Below, the courtyard lies open to the sky, a square of bare stone surrounded by height. No roof, no shelter. Sound enters the space and returns to its source. A single step becomes two. A single breath becomes an echo. In one corner, a well opens into darkness. Its edge has been worn smooth by time and use. The depth below remains hidden. Water waits far beneath the surface, cold and unmoving. A staircase coils inside the tower. It is cut directly from the rock, narrow, uneven. Each step slopes inward, forcing the body closer to the wall as it climbs. The design favors those who stand above and slows those who rise from below. Hands slide along the stone. Dust gathers on skin. The wall remains unchanged. Light fades as the stairs turn upward. The air grows cooler. The sound of movement becomes softer. At the landing, a door waits. Thick wood, reinforced with iron bands pressed deep into its frame. The hinge carries a familiar sound, known by anyone who has stood on either side of it. Beyond the door, a corridor stretches forward, long, straight, unbroken. The floor reflects a thin line of light, just enough to mark the path through shadow. Iron rings sit embedded in the walls. They do not move. They do not disappear. Their purpose remains clear, even when nothing hangs from them. Chains lie nearby, some coiled on the floor, some hanging loose, some forgotten. A single link has broken away and rests alone on the stone, cold and separate from the rest. A bench stands against the wall, carved from solid rock, no curve, no cushion, only a flat surface where time is spent without comfort. Here, time is not counted. There are no bells, no marks, only light and its absence. A narrow slit window cuts through the stone, high above eye level. A thin strip of sky appears through it. Dust drifts through the beam, slow and weightless, turning the air itself into something visible. Inside a cell, space closes in. The walls draw near. The ceiling presses down. The air feels heavier than it should. A folded tunic rests on a stone ledge, coarse fabric, simple stitching, made to endure, not to be seen. Beside it lies a belt, leather cracked by use, once pulled tight and then set aside. Thick cords lie nearby, knots tied with care, strength measured in tension. A shadow passes across the doorway, metal shifts, footsteps pause, then fade. At the far end of the corridor, a guard remains, face hidden, posture fixed, presence enough to fill the space. Steel gauntlets catch a brief reflection of light, then dull again. A helmet's shadow stretches across the floor, longer than the person who casts it. Beyond another door, the chapel waits. Stone arches rise above a bare altar. Cold light falls from high windows and settles across the floor. No voices rise here. No prayers travel upward. The space remains occupied by silence alone. A rosary bead lies near the wall,
small, unclaimed, left where it fell. A confessional stands empty, its curtain unmoved, its space unused. High above, stained glass remains in place, once bright, now muted by dust and age. Color fades, structure stays. A single candle burns near the altar. Its light does not reach far, it only marks a small circle where darkness has not yet taken hold. A letter rests on a stone surface. The wax seal remains unbroken. Words stay trapped inside, denied their path outward. A hand reaches into open space and finds nothing. A wooden cross leans against the wall, rough, uneven, shaped by need, not by skill. Cloth hangs from a peg, a dark tunic, heavy and worn. The fabric absorbs light and gives none back. The air does not move. Footsteps return, then stop, then turn away. Silence settles again. Beyond the tower walls, the land continues its motion. Fields change color with the seasons. Rivers cut new lines through soil. Villages rise, villages fall. Inside the tower, nothing responds. In another room, a table stands alone, thick wood, straight edges, its surface marked by years of use. Books rest nearby, leather-bound and heavy, their pages filled with rules, records, and judgment. A quill waits in an inkwell, its tip dark with ink, its purpose already decided. Parchment lies flat and open, blank, ready. High-backed chairs line the far wall, arranged in a curve, empty but commanding. One chair stands alone across from them, lower, plainer, set apart. Light falls through a narrow opening above and lands in the center of the floor, a pale circle in a dark room. Dust moves through it, slow and steady, turning the air itself into something visible. A figure sits at the table, head lowered, hands still. Ink touches parchment, a mark forms, then another. Words take shape without being spoken. Outside, clouds move across the sky. Shadows pass over the tower. Inside, nothing changes. Back in the corridor, moisture gathers on the stone. A drop of water forms, hangs, then falls. The sound travels down the hall and fades into distance. A small plant grows in a crack in the wall. Its leaves are pale, its roots shallow. It leans towards the light. The light remains far away. A body rests against the stone. Movement is slow. Breathing is measured. A tear darkens the fabric beneath it, then disappears. Far beyond the walls, a public square waits. Stone laid flat, space wide, air open. Wooden posts rise at its center, rough, unfinished. Timber lies stacked nearby, dry, splintered, waiting. Wind moves through the open space. Dust lifts, then settles again. People gather at the edges. Their shapes blur together. Faces remain unseen. The square fills without sound. Expectation replaces noise. Back inside the tower, a door opens. Its hinge speaks. Footsteps follow, slow, even. The corridor stretches forward once more. Light marks the center line. Darkness holds the rest. Iron rings remain in the walls. Chains hang where they always have. A stairway turns upward, stone worn smooth by countless steps. Each step lifts the body. Each turn tightens the space. At the top, another door waits, thick, reinforced. It opens inward. The air beyond feels different, colder, thinner. A small room stands bare and clean. At its center, a pile of clothing rests, neatly folded and deliberate. Two sets, one rough, heavy, practical, one softer, lighter, out of place. Light shifts through a narrow window. The change is small but noticeable. A hand moves toward the folded fabric, slow, measured. It pauses. Outside, clouds move over the sun. The room darkens slightly. The hand closes around the rough cloth. The lighter fabric remains untouched. Footsteps sound behind. The choice is observed. No words follow. The corridor returns, long, narrow, unforgiving. Movement continues forward. The square fills further. The wooden structure stands complete, simple, unyielding. A small cross rests near its base, rough, uneven. It is lifted and held close. Smoke rises somewhere beyond view, thin, gray. The sky holds it, then lets it go. Back in the tower, a door closes. The echo lingers longer than the sound itself. A candle burns lower. Wax gathers at its base. Beyond the walls, a bell remains silent. The wind moves through bare branches, reaching into gray sky. The tower stands. The land shifts. Stone remains. Silence follows.
The room built for judgment does not change its shape. It only changes who stands inside it. Stone pillars rise toward a ceiling lost in shadow. Their surfaces carry the marks of years, but their purpose remains intact. A long table rests at the center of the chamber, thick wood cut straight and firm, its surface scarred by time and use. High-backed chairs form a wide curve beyond it. They remain empty, but their height and placement suggest authority without voices. Across from them, one chair stands alone, lower, plainer, set apart. Light enters through a narrow opening above. A single shaft falls to the floor, creating a pale circle in a dark room. Dust moves through it slowly, turning the air into something visible. Time becomes something that can be watched. A candle burns near the table, its flame steady, its reach limited. Books line the wall, leather-bound and heavy. Their pages carry rules, records, and conclusions written by hands that no longer exist. A quill rests beside an inkwell, its tip dark with ink. Parchment lies open, blank and waiting. Footsteps sound at the far end of the chamber, even, measured. A presence enters. Armor shifts, metal touches stone. The figure stops near the table. It does not sit. It does not speak. The empty chairs remain empty. Their silence holds more weight than any voice. Outside, wind moves across open land. Clouds drift across the sky. Shadows slide over fields and roads. Inside the chamber, nothing responds. Ink touches parchment. A mark appears. Then another. Words form without being spoken. Decisions take shape without sound. The candle burns lower. Wax gathers at its base. The room does not notice. Beyond the door, the corridor holds cold air. Moisture gathers on stone. A drop of water forms, hangs, and falls. The sound travels, then fades into nothing. A shadow moves past a narrow window, then another. A guard pauses, then continues. Inside the cell, space remains unchanged. Walls close in, the ceiling presses down. Light reaches only part of the floor. The rest stays dark. A folded garment rests on a stone ledge. Coarse fabric, simple seams, made to last, not to be seen. A belt lies beside it, leather cracked by use. A length of cord rests nearby, knots tied with care. A figure sits against the wall, head lowered, breathing slow. The air does not move. A tear falls. It darkens the fabric beneath it, then disappears. Beyond the tower walls, a public square begins to fill. Stone ground stretches wide beneath an open sky. Wooden posts rise at its center, rough and unfinished. Timber lies stacked nearby, dry and splintered, waiting. Wind moves through the space. Dust lifts, then settles again. People gather at the edges. Their shapes blur together. Faces remain indistinct.
The square fills without sound. Expectation replaces noise. Back inside the tower, a door opens. Its hinge speaks. Footsteps follow, slow, even. The corridor stretches forward, narrow and straight. Light marks the center line. Darkness holds the rest. Iron rings remain in the walls. Chains hang where they always have. A stairway turns upward, stone worn smooth by countless steps. Each turn tightens the space. Each step lifts the body higher and narrows the world below. At the top, another door waits, thick, reinforced. It opens inward. The air beyond feels different, colder, thinner. A small room stands bare and clean. At its center, a pile of clothing rests, neatly folded and deliberate. 2 sets. One rough, heavy, practical. One softer, lighter, out of place. Light shifts through a narrow window. The change is small but noticeable. A hand moves toward the folded fabric, slow, measured. It pauses. Outside, clouds pass over the sun. The room darkens slightly. The hand closes around the rough cloth. The lighter fabric remains untouched. Footsteps sound behind. The choice is observed. No words follow. Movement returns to the corridor, forward, unbroken. In the square, the wooden structure now stands complete, simple, unyielding. Its shape casts long shadows across the stone as the sun lowers. A small cross rests near its base, rough, uneven. It is lifted and held close. Smoke rises somewhere beyond view, thin, gray. The sky holds it, then lets it go. Heat moves through the air. Sound does not. The square empties slowly, deliberately. Footsteps fade into distance. Ash settles across stone, gray against gray. A single ember remains, red, small. The wind touches it. It dims. The land holds the mark. Beyond the square, fields remain. Rivers continue their paths. Villages stand. Time does not stop. Inside the tower, light returns through the narrow window of an empty cell. The folded garments are gone. A bench remains against the wall, cold, unmoved. The corridor stretches as it always has. Back in the chamber, the chairs remain empty. The books remain stacked. The parchment lies complete. A seal is pressed into warm wax, a mark made permanent. The document is set aside. Years pass. Stone gathers more weather. Moss thickens. Cracks widen. A statue rises elsewhere, carved from the same material. Given a name, flowers appear at its base, then disappear. Battles end. Borders shift. The tower remains. The square becomes quiet ground. Grass grows between stones. A small marker stands where the posts once stood. No decoration, only presence. A river nearby continues to move. It does not remember. A sword lies half buried in soil. Rust claims its edge. An old battlefield becomes open land. Wind passes over it without pause. A single stone stands upright, no words carved. Light moves across it each day. A window in the tower still opens to the sky, the same thin line of gray. A door still waits in the corridor, heavy, closed. Somewhere, a candle burns, its flame small, its light limited. Stone holds its place. Silence holds the rest.
Time moves forward, even when places remain the same. The tower still rises above the land, its stone darkened by years of rain and wind. Moss thickens in the cracks, edges soften. The structure loses none of its purpose. It continues to stand, long after those who built it and those who passed through it have disappeared. Inside, corridors remain narrow and straight. Light still traces a thin line along the floor. Darkness still holds the rest. The iron rings remain in the walls, cold and untouched. Chains no longer move, but they do not vanish. They wait where they were left. The courtyard opens to the sky. The square of stone feels larger without voices. Wind crosses it without resistance. A raven returns to the battlements, its body still, its eyes alert. It does not know what it watches, it only remains. Beyond the walls, the land changes shape. Fields become villages, villages become roads, roads become borders. Rivers continue to cut through soil, ignoring every line drawn by people. In the public square, grass grows between the stones. The wooden posts are gone. Only faint marks remain where they once stood. A small marker stands in their place, plain and unadorned. Those who pass it do not stop for long. In a distant hall, a crown rests beneath a focused beam of light. Polished metal reflects the room around it. Velvet cushions support its weight. Power sits quietly when it is no longer being questioned. Nearby, a scepter lies across a table. Its surface gleams. Its meaning does not change. Books line the shelves of another chamber, leather-bound and heavy. Their pages hold records, rulings, and conclusions written in careful lines. A seal lies broken beside an open document. Wax fragments rest on the table like small hardened drops of time. A white lily stands in a dark space. Its petals remain unmarked. Its presence draws the eye without effort. It does not explain itself. Elsewhere, a stone figure stands in a courtyard, its surface worn smooth with weather and touch. Moss gathers at its base. Visitors place flowers nearby. They are removed. The stone remains. Across open land, an old battlefield stretches into quiet. No banners rise, no lines form. The wind moves freely across flattened grass and uneven soil. A single sword lies half buried near a low ridge, its blade claimed by rust. No one lifts it. A lone marker stands at the edge of the field. No words are carved into it. Light passes over its surface each day. Shadow follows each night. The tower still opens its narrow window to the sky. The same thin line of gray light enters. The same portion of the floor receives it. The rest remains unchanged. A heavy door waits in the corridor, closed, reinforced. Its hinges do not speak anymore. They only hold. Somewhere inside, a candle burns, its flame small, its light limited. It does not reach far. It does not need to. Beyond the walls, a river continues its path. Water moves around stones without slowing. It reflects the sky without keeping its shape. It carries no memory of what stands beside it. Far from the tower, an old structure crumbles on a hill. Ivy climbs across its walls. Nature reclaims what was once defended. A broken piece of armor lies in the soil nearby, metal pressed into earth by time and neglect. A rosebush grows among the stones. Thorns remain sharp. Flowers return each season. The contrast remains. Clouds gather above the land. Light shifts. Shadows move across valleys and roads. Nothing pauses for long. In another chamber, a book lies open to a blank page. The paper is yellowed, the edges fragile. The space waits for words that may never be written. A bell hangs in a distant tower, its surface weathered, its rope unmoving. It does not ring, it only exists. In a forest beyond the fields, an old path disappears beneath fallen leaves and low branches. The ground softens.
The direction becomes unclear. What once led somewhere now leads into nothing. A spider web stretches between two branches. Dew collects along its threads. Light catches briefly, then fades. A cracked stone statue stands near a road, one side worn smooth, the other chipped and broken. People pass it without turning their heads. In a quiet valley, wheat fields move with the wind. The sound is soft, constant, unconcerned. A village rests nearby. Smoke rises from chimneys in thin lines. Life continues without reference to what once stood beyond its edge. The tower remains in the distance, visible from high ground, its outline unchanged, its meaning altered only by those who look at it. Inside its walls, space remains empty. The bench sits against the stone, cold, unmoved. The floor shows no new marks. The air carries no voices. In the chamber of judgment, chairs remain in their curved line. Dust settles on their surfaces. Books stay closed. Parchment remains stacked and filed away. No new marks are added. Time passes without announcement. In the public square, children cross the stones where crowds once stood. Their footsteps are lighter. Their voices carry differently. The space does not respond. The marker remains, plain, quiet. Beyond the square,